Poet, playwright, the list continues of more than 20 works. He has won numerous literary awards in the country and abroad. Mda has just published his latest book titled The Sculptors of Mapungubwe, and he joins us to tell us more about the book and also about his life and achievements in general, and what a life it has been so far. Very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, Anda.
Tell me, now we were chatting briefly off air that you grew up in all over, but Dobsonville was one of the areas where I grew up as well. How does a boy from Dobsonville become such a world-renowned author, novelist, etc.?
Well, a combination of things, you know, hard work, luck, good teachers, and also encouragement at home. I went to school in Dobsonville at Lodirile Primary School, and then Nakile, and then Enkolweni. And fortunately, throughout that period, I had, you know, good teachers who encouraged me when they noticed my talent, you know, which was mostly in painting and drawing, but later in writing as well.
I think it's such an inspiration for every township boy and girl that they can achieve.
Definitely.
I mean, some of your achievements, your novels have been translated some 20-odd languages, including Turkish. Who gets their book translated in Turkish? The demand is so varied. How did the love of writing and drawing and painting, how did that come about?
Writing comes from reading, because from a very young age, you know, I used to enjoy reading stories. But also listening to stories, you know, the folk tales, stories in the oral tradition. Sometimes during holidays, we would go to the Eastern Cape, which is where I was born actually, to visit our grandmother. And of course, would in the evening sit around the fire, and there would be a lot of storytelling happening there. So from reading, you know, books and also listening to folk tales and stories, then you see the love for storytelling was cultivated in me.
And it fanned into flame that creativity. And speaking about creativity, this latest book of yours is absolutely amazing. It takes you to different worlds. There's a different understanding. There are strong characters. And for me, I found very subliminal messages of what I took out from this. Tell us a bit about how you came to write this particular piece.
Well, I've always wanted to write a story set in that region, and especially that period, you know. For quite some time, I've been writing historical novels, but in many instances, you know, it would be the 1800s or during the days of apartheid and so on. So I thought maybe this time I should go to a pre-colonial period and show people, show South African readers and world readers that, you know, we had a civilization here before we were colonized. 1,000 years ago, that's the setting of this novel, in old Mapungubwe, you know, which was a highly advanced civilization, a town which used to trade with the outside world, mostly Arabia, India, China, you know. And so the book itself is fiction. In other words, it's a story that I've created from imagination. But the setting, I've tried by all means that it should be as real as possible. Drawing from archaeology, for instance, ethno-archaeologists who have done work there and reconstructed the life of the times, but also drawing from the oral traditions of the Bangona people. Now, the Bangona people are today's descendants of the people of Mapungubwe. But again, a third source, writings of the Arabs of 1,000 years ago who used to trade with Mapungubwe. So through those sources, I was able to reconstruct life as it was lived during that period.
And you do so vividly that one can imagine exactly the settings and the different themes. Now, I am extremely pressed for time. I can hear my producers in my ear saying, you have to wrap, but I can't close without asking you this. The different themes that are weaved through this.
Yes.
We have, you know, questions about whether it's better to excel in status quo or to pursue your individual dreams.
Yes,
there's also political maneuvering that goes on there. There are themes of love. It's so multi-layered and multifaceted. What do you aim to achieve with this book?
You see, any historical novel, any good historical novel must comment actually about the present and the future. So that's the whole objective here. It does comment about our life today, even though it's set 1,000 years ago.
And that's why it intrigued me. Thank you so much for your time. It's very unfortunate that we have to wrap, but indeed we do. The legendary author, playwright, musician, and I know he also does a little bit of beekeeping. So there's one fact you may not have known about Zakes Mda. It's a huge pleasure to have you with us. Thanks again for your time.
My pleasure.